You're listening to Honey, We Made a Disney Podcast. Two friends since it was a crime to not rewind. Now dads reliving the Disney movies we grew up on with our own kids. I'm JB Waggoner.
And I'm Eddie Ferguson. And on today's episode, shut up! Shut up! We get to review the Princess Diaries. But before that, JB, how are you and the family doing?
Pretty good. Doing our thing. But enough about me, Eddie. But enough about me. We've got Disney Plus Day. That's today on the air. When this is airing, there's going to be a ton of things dropping all over the place. Eddie, you want to give us like a preview of some of the things that are happening, or do you want me to go off my Google list here?
So, first things first. Let's just say I love how everybody has to create their own day, like their own little hype day.
Amazon, I can't believe you did that to us. Prime Day.
Now everybody's gotta have their thing. I will say one of the coolest perks is if you are a Disney Plus subscriber, you can get into any Disney park 30 minutes early on this day.
Oh, that day.
If you have a park ticket, and if if you're going, you can get in 30 minutes early if you show your login page, like your home page of Disney Plus. To me, okay, there you go. That's cool. Like I want a real world perk benefit. And then like the past few Disney Plus days, like if you go into one of those parks, they have like a Disney Plus hat or whatever that is obviously like a super cheap mass produced hat that you could mow your grass while wearing, but that's about all you would really do with it. But this year, there's a lot of things coming out. What's interesting is this year they've moved it forward. The past 2 years, Disney Plus Day has been on the day Disney Plus actually launched and premiered in November. Now it's moved up to today, as of the drop of this podcast, September 8th, 2022. Do you have the list? Rattle it off. What all is coming out?
So this is obviously something I quickly grabbed before we started because we didn't plan this very well. But one movie that's coming, dropping to Disney Plus is Thor: Love and Thunder. That's coming out. That's obviously already been in theaters. We've already talked about that movie. But brand new film, the live action remake of Pinocchio. That's coming out today.
That is Robert Zemeckis.
Wow.
Starring Tom Hanks, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in there. Like this could have gone on its own. He's Jiminy Cricket.
There's no real perfect, but there's zero buzz for this. I haven't heard anybody talking or preparing for it.
This is true.
What'd they do wrong, Eddie? I haven't heard anything about it.
I don't know, but there's never been anything with Tom Hanks that I don't enjoy. And I think I could say the same of Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Like everything he's done, I'm like, I enjoy that. It might not be like my favorite thing ever, but I'm like, okay, that was good.
We just watched Elvis the other night. Have you seen it?
Did you like it? Oh yeah, we saw it in theaters.
I think my wife called it.
I grew up listening to Elvis all the time.
Oh, okay.
My mom was, with the oldies station and everything, we listened to a lot of Elvis and watched all of his movies.
I can't remember if my wife called it an acid trip or something to that effect of just like insanity that this movie
was. Well, it's Baz Luhrmann.
Yeah.
So Moulin Rouge, Australia.
It was Romeo in that vein for sure. But it was gnarly, but I didn't know most of that story. So there's a lot of cool stuff in it. But yeah, it was our last couple of things that we watched together. One of which being Woodstock 99, and then it's been like on another planet for us of just like, what have we been watching? I feel like, this is crazy. So yeah, Pinocchio is coming out. Another one that I'm super excited about is Obi-Wan Kenobi, A Jedi's Return. So this is the documentary making of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. I'm hoping we get like some early like round table, maybe trying to convince people to come on board. I don't know what we're going to get, but I'm very, very excited about that. We also have my son's going to be so excited about this one, which is Cars on the Road, little mini series. Some new cars stuff. Eddie, you guys going to wear it out?
Oh, we'll wear that out. Honestly, I mean, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That's probably one of my favorite things I'm most looking forward to in this whole drop.
We also got another Marvel Studios assembled, so another making of a shorter piece that they do for all of the Marvel series. So we got making of Thor: Love and Thunder, same time Thor: Love and Thunder comes out. We got the sing-along versions of Frozen and Frozen 2. What was one that they did? Coco? Was that one that they did? Or there was one that they did recently that they just brought around?
No, they've done like Encanto's out now.
That's
Beauty
Encanto,
and the Beast,
that's the one, yep.
Little Mermaid, like they've been doing a lot of these. Yeah.
I was actually surprised they hadn't already come out with the Frozen and Frozen 2. I figured that would have been like at the top of the list, like ready to go.
So yeah, we'll get to this with the D23 here in a second, but hold on to why Frozen may be coming out this week.
Ooh, okay. You've piqued my interest.
Tease you.
There's something called Remembering. I don't know what any of that is, but do you know anything about Remembering?
Say that again.
There's something called Remembering. Remembering.
The way you said it at first, remembering?
Remembering?
Like, am I remembering?
I don't remember hearing about whatever this thing is, but that's coming out.
This is the quick clip that I'm seeing here from Disney. Where do ideas come from? And where do they go when they're forgotten? These central questions are brought to life in Remembering, an original short film by Emmy-winning director Elijah Allen Blitz, starring Academy Award winner Brie Larson.
Okay. Well, there you go.
And with first of its kind companion augmented reality app, where the AR experience is triggered by the film's moving image. Select Disney Plus subscribers in the US can interact with the story by scanning the TV to extend the world of imagination into their living room.
Okay. Well, that's
so
something.
You'll have to let us know how that is.
I will try to remember to do that next week on the show. So
only you people breathing the free air of the United States can.
Sorry, Eddie.
Joking.
Sorry. We got a Simpsons short called Welcome to the Club. We got some, looks like some highlight reels from Dancing with the Stars, the pros' most memorable dances. I know you're queuing that up as we speak, Eddie. We also got Tierra Incognita.
I think they're getting ready, because Dancing with the Stars is no longer on ABC. It's going to premiere live weekly on Disney Plus.
Oh.
So I think they're starting this fall. So I think they're starting
live television for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little something here for you, Eddie. I'm going to try to pronounce this. This is Tierra Incognita.
Very good.
The house that's incognita, maybe? Tierra? I don't know what any of this means.
Tierra is Earth.
Earth. I knew it was something. I was thinking Earth,
Tierra
but I said
Incognita.
house and it was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, and
that's already out here, so I don't know.
Oh, Tierra Incognita.
They're pushing that. Yeah, it's on ours already.
And two other ones that I've never heard of before: Growing Up and Epic Adventures with Bertie Gregory. So, a lot of random stuff for this time. Couple brand new things in Pinocchio, Obi-Wan that I'm super excited about. Cars on the Road. My son's going to be so excited.
What are you turning on first?
Either Obi-Wan or Pinocchio, probably. Those are probably going to be our go-tos. Can't imagine anything. Oh no, my bad. My wife might grab Frozen sing along. She might throw that up there first. So your heart up there.
I think Cars on the Road might be our first. I think Cars on the Road might be the first one up for us.
I can see Lewis right up there on the screen, like ready to go, ready to fire it up. Let's go, Dada. Let's do it.
Yeah, he's got like a little rug that is like Radiator Springs, and he's got all of his little Cars characters. And so we'll turn on the music and he'll like reenact the whole film on his little rug and stuff. So
yeah,
we need some more Cars content to help fuel that a bit.
Yep. But Eddie, you got some big stuff to prepare us for D23 this weekend? Got some big news hopefully next week?
This weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is the D23 convention. That is the official Disney fan club for all those who want to drop that type of money for saying that you're a part of a Disney fan club.
And hopefully our sponsors next time.
Don't already.
Hopefully our sponsors will send us next time. Report on the ground.
So this is usually where they drop big news from all across the company. From the cruise line to the studios, but every studio is going to announce something. We usually get some trailers. That'll be really exciting. But typically this is also when the announcements for the parks get dropped. And everybody's saying like, this is Chapek's moment because everything Iger set up has run its course. It's done. It's out. So now like, this is our first time to really see like, is he going to invest in the parks? Is he going, what is he going to do? So it's either going to be like booing him off the stage or cheers. Yay. We're getting huge stuff out of Disneyland that is being rumored. There is rumors that the tree house, which has been like under refurb for 2 years, is actually going to get rethemed to Antonio and Encanto. Remember Antonio pretty much has a big tree house in his room and all the animals. So that's one rumor out there. Another big rumor for all the OG Disneylanders that possibly the People Mover in Tomorrowland is coming back.
Whoa. That's big news.
Yes. Big news. Then the other rumor that keeps like maybe not, is a Frozen expansion to Fantasyland.
That makes sense. Is there any current Frozen dedicated thing other than meeting the Frozen characters?
In Epcot, in Disney World, there is a ride. It's a very small presence, but there is a ride. But all of the foreign parks are working on their versions of a full-blown Frozen land. Paris, Hong Kong, and Tokyo. So it would make sense that one of the two domestic parks has got to have a bigger Frozen presence. I don't think it would be Disney World because they've already got a little something going on there at Epcot. Makes sense. There's a little bit of pocket of land there in Fantasyland that could fit something. That's where everybody just don't know to what scale. So those were kind of the cool. Disney World, nobody knows. There's a million different rumors floating around. Pretty much what they're saying is that if Disney wants to keep up with Universal, which is about to open its 4th theme park in Orlando in 3-4 years, I think it is.
2025, and it's Mario World.
Yeah, Mario World.
Nintendo
another
World.
How to Train Your Dragon. Classic monsters. A new Harry Potter section, so that's going to be 3 Harry Potters.
What is the new Harry Potter section going to be?
The rumor is the Ministry of Magic.
Interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
And I say rumor because for a little while there, they were teasing that it was going to be somehow based off of Fantastic Beasts and be the
not into that.
And they're just those films are just not getting the traction to really hold a theme park land. And I say that as like a big Harry Potter fan.
You know what we need at least some
I literally
presence.
have Harry sitting here that you gave me for being in your wedding.
Yes.
He sits right here.
Eddie, you know what we need? We need the Weasleys' house. I want to go to the Weasleys' house.
You can go to their shop in Diagon Alley. But yes, that would be a really good one.
No, I want the house, like the house they're living in.
I want the house. So what they're saying is, all of the great people of the internet, if Disney wants to stay competitive, they pretty much need to add 1 or 2 big things to all 4 theme parks in Orlando. Big stuff. So I think we will hear announced. I don't think the Treehouse will be the only Encanto thing. I think we're going to get a full-scale Encanto project. And I think it's going to come to somewhere in Disney World.
Okay.
That's what I'm holding on to. I really want a big scale Encanto thing going into Disney World.
This time next week, we will know more. And we'll be able to.
We may have to. I think next week's episode, we may not review our film on the list. We may just do a big review of D23. It all depends, though, on if they announce a big stuff, or is this just like a wah wah? Because it really could be. It's a coin toss.
I have a feeling that we can probably just slide in a little bit, 2 minutes on next week's episode, and then keep on going. I feel like we could just to keep the train
I don't even
going.
know what the next one is.
We'll preview it that on the way.
Yes, I see it.
I don't think we need to wait to give it a full episode, but you'll see. You also had something about Halloween at Disneyland. Do tell me more. Halloween's on our mind because we just got our own first decor out for Halloween now. I know that I've been making fun of all the people drinking their pumpkin spice lattes, but now our family has now entered into the Halloween festivities with our own Sanderson sisters globe thing glowing on our garage right now. So
we love fall, Halloween. I even asked Lewis today, like, what is your favorite holiday? And he said Halloween. We have already watched the Mickey Mouse Halloween story. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So good. We've decorated the whole house and all of our fall decorations. We're a little more of like fall decorators and Halloween, not Halloween. That's but the first Oogie Boogie Bash happened at Disney's California Adventure. And one of the cool things that they do is like they go all out on the characters. And we'll just start with the one that I texted you guys right before we hopped on to record. Did you watch the video?
I didn't watch. I just saw that it was Sanderson sisters. So
no. Pull it up, watch it. No, you've got to watch it. It's not.
This is a live.
It's not just the Sanderson sisters.
Okay, I'm gonna pull this up while we're sitting here. This is great podcasting content right here. So here we go. You gotta find the text message first. But here we go. Look who's coming to Oogie Boogie Bash, and I see some Sanderson sisters in the thumbnail. But we'll see here in a second. Oh, it's Minnie and Mickey. Or Minnie.
It's Minnie, Daisy, and Clarabelle dressed up as the Sanderson sisters.
I like that.
This is the greatest ever. I love just how much fun they have with Halloween out there. Like, come on, who had the idea of having the 3 of them dress up as the Sanderson sisters? That's great. But they also, at the party, they will pull out like some deep cut villains will appear. Like Sid from Toy Story makes an appearance.
That's a good deep cut.
Isn't it a good one? They also this year are premiering Ernesto de la Cruz from Coco, which I'm very, very excited. I want to see. And then I don't know if I would call him a villain, but he's there at this one. But Bruno from Encanto you can meet him. You can be a part of that. And that's just
he's
like
not
one
so much
of many,
villain as he is. He fits the vibe.
Sure, he fits the vibe. But like in years past, like last year, they had Agatha from WandaVision. They just do such a good job at pulling out, villainesque type characters and everything like that. So if you haven't been on Twitter, scrolling around, look at all the stuff coming out of the Oogie Boogie Bash at Disney's California Adventure. and just the fun, cool things that they're doing with characters. It just seems like this is the Halloween party for true, fun Disney fans. You know, they're doing it right for the fans.
Eddie, this isn't helping the fact that we are trying to pace ourselves because we won't be going to Disneyland anytime soon. So this isn't going to help us like keep that under wrap, keep that together. Unless you're trying to get us to go to Disneyland sooner.
I gotta live vicariously through you.
So we got to go. You know what? Maybe we just put off all of our other things we're saving for and just go after all. It has been almost a year now since we've been, so it's about time. It's about time. You know what else it's time for? It's time for us to not keep Spain and Portugal waiting any longer. It is time for us to review the movie that so many people in my life have been so excited for. When I told them that we were going to be reviewing this film, they were like, oh, tell me when the episode drops so I can know all about it. And the movie that we are talking about is The Princess Diaries.
Cue the Disney sound effect.
Okay. Here's the IMDb description for The Princess Diaries is this. Mia Thermopolis has just found out that she is the heir apparent to the throne of Genovia. With her friends Lily and Michael Moskowitz in tow, she tries to navigate through the rest of her 16th year. I feel like they didn't quite land the plane on the end of that. Could have done a little bit better job. 16th year doesn't quite work it for me, but the rest of that kind of felt like a tabloid headline, which is great for this because that's what this was.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think it's very odd that they mention her friends, Lily and Michael Moskowitz. Okay.
We had to get the last name in there too. Couldn't just do Lily and Michael. Kind of weird.
Yeah. But we had to, point out that she was also, 16 when all this went down.
Eddie, I got some notes from my wife before we went on here because she was on cloud nine. So excited that we were going to do this. This was like probably one of her favorite films, especially from her childhood. It hit a chord, and like I mentioned before, I told a few of my team members at work about this, and because I thought they'd be interested. Thought, hey, maybe this is it. Maddie, shout out to Maddie and Eleni and Michaela, 3 of the ladies that I work with quite a bit, and each one of them are like, this is literally one of my favorite movies of all time. It's so incredible. And when we had to miss last week due to unforeseen circumstances, they were all very upset. They were like, oh, they were ready for this. So we're finally here. We're finally doing it. But from my wife, the couple of the things that she wanted to make sure that we said right up at the top. 1, Julie Andrews is the greatest thing to happen to the screen. I know you've got thoughts.
I couldn't agree more. As I hold my heart as I say that. You can't see this, but I hold my heart. I think I said when we teased the episode 2 weeks ago, that one of my greatest film crushes was in this movie. You assumed incorrectly, and that
I was talking about that you were talking about Anne Hathaway. No, I'm speaking of Dame Julie Andrews, arguably one of the greatest actresses to ever grace the screen. What's her best performance? Rank your favorite Julie Andrews performances. Here, right now. I know you weren't ready for this.
We watch Mary Poppins almost on repeat, like nonstop. Mary Poppins, the soundtrack plays in our house. No lie, every day.
I wouldn't expect anything more from you, Eddie. Anything less would have been a crime. I was waiting for you to say Sound of Music.
I love Sound of Music. And you know what? I was amazed. We watched it with the kids. Man, it was a while ago. It was maybe almost a year ago. It was last Christmas, actually. It was last Christmas. Our kids were riveted. And at that time, they were like 3 and 1, but they were glued. That's a good one, too. But she's got also some other great ones, deep cuts.
My favorite moment from this movie with Julie Andrews, which, by the way, she was perfectly casted for this. I would believe that she was a princess, a queen, easily. Even if you never told me that she was never a queen.
And what's so amazing about her is that this could easily become a caricature of a queen. You know, like it could have easily been overdone. Does that make sense? Yep. And like and it's Gary Marshall, so he's kind of got a little bit of a cheesy flair to it every once in a while.
Pretty Woman, Never Been Kissed, A League of Their Own, a very stellar career.
Stellar career. And what I like about Gary is he gets up to that line. I wouldn't say that it's cheesy. I misspoke there. It's like it gets like right up to the line where like if anybody else was doing this, it could come across as that. And especially with Julie Andrews, a queen of a fictitious, small nation, like you could easily. We actually started watching Princess Diaries 2 right after this,
which is coming up. It's coming down.
It's coming up, and there it does start to hop over that just a little bit.
Chris Pine didn't he took it too far?
Julie Andrews is just impeccable in this whole film.
Yes. I don't have anything. I don't have a comeback for that. I was hoping for a witty comeback, but I don't have anything because she was part of the reason why this film was so great.
Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying though? Like that role could have easily been overdone. Like I am overdoing my love for Julie Andrews right now. That role could have easily been overdone.
You've jumped the shark a little bit, but this movie did not, and her performance did not.
Yeah.
The other half of the reason why this movie was so good is because of Anne Hathaway and what she did in this. Not only her hairstylist, who did an amazing job with making her look like the frumpiest possible version of herself with that hair, with the strings, it was strung out. But every time that she was like being awkward, I believed it. I was like, this is how people really were. In that time and in the times that we grew up, like riding the scooters and just something about her hair. I don't know what it was, but like I know that was the biggest transformation she had when they have the whole transformation scene, the makeover scene. But even as she's like some of her lines, like I have made it my life's goal to be invisible, and I'm really good at it. Like lines like that are just like, I'm going up to the royal bedchamber. It's like she was just so
I can't
endearing.
be a princess. I can't be a princess. I'm still waiting for normal body parts to arrive. Like what? Most kids hope for a car for their 16th birthday, not a country.
I'm not enough. If I'm not enough of a freak already, let's add a tiara. And she's wearing the retainer while let's add a tiara. The retainer that she's wearing does like
tiara. Like the way she pronounces it. Oh my goodness. You're so right. Like what really stuck out to me is rewatching this was how subtle she transitions the character. Mm-hmm. Like it's not just at the moment of the physical transformation of like, okay, she's got straight hair and everything, some makeup on. No, like there's just these like little steps here. And then even like after she has the physical transformation, she lets some of that kind of like nerdiness still kind of sneak out here and there on that. Like it just makes it so believable, but still being a true transformation.
The transformation, let's talk about Paolo a little bit. Like, iconic character from this. I've also called that out as the makeover scene in general is her most memorable moment thinking about this film. But when he goes, we take this, and we give you a princess. Like that whole moment with the reveal. It's very stunning. But I love when he's like, Paolo hates money. He spits on money. There is no money. Well, there is some money. Where it's like, I had to tell the world because of what I did. It was a masterpiece.
I love the moment when he's confessing that to Julie Andrews and he keeps step forwarding a little bit and Joe like will pull him back and he goes, grazie, prego. And then, Joe always goes, prego. And then they do it like 2 or 3 times there. It's like, grazie, prego. But he's like physically restraining him. There's just, these little bits there and there that are so, so good. I love where he breaks her glasses and she's like, oh, you broke my glasses. You broke my brush.
You broke my brush. Oh, goodness. Should we talk about some of these side characters, a.k.a. Mandy Moore?
Yes.
Yes. As Lana, Anna, and Fontana, this truly despicable group of teenagers, or maybe exactly like many teenagers that are out there. I feel like this movie was exactly why she did A Walk to Remember, to change the narrative of her acting career, because she didn't want to get typecasted as the mean girl like she was in this. I feel like this movie is the reason
film.
It is her next film. Oh, that we figured it out. That's for sure what it is. Are we going to do Walk to Remember? Is that part of this or no?
No,
no. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm just going to have to save that soundtrack for another day. Because I do love that soundtrack. But Mandy Moore puts on a decent performance in this as a mean girl. Does a good job of making people feel ashamed of themselves and trying to kiss up to get some of the notoriety. So pleasantly surprised with her work in this.
I mentioned him a little before, Joe. I like Hector Elizondo. I think he is great as the security guard, head of security or whatever, / love interest for Queen Clarice.
Yeah.
He's just got fun little moments here and there that I think just ground the story. It has a way of helping just kind of fill it out a little bit more.
Oh, I forgot a Julie Andrews thing. Can we go back to Julie Andrews? Are you going to be okay if we talk one more thing about Julie Andrews?
I guess so.
You guess so? The thing I forgot to say was my favorite Julie Andrews moment from this movie is when she's teaching her how to walk, and then she does we don't slump, and she walks like an ogre. And it's so funny watching someone so put together and proper and like put together. I can't think of another word for it, but like when she's like hunched over and like an ogre walking back and forth across the screen. Sorry, I had to say it was on here, and I was gonna die if I didn't say it. But sorry, I know you were talking about other people that are more important. So
no, we're just going through our little bit characters, and we have to arrive at Eric Von Deaton, who plays Josh in this. For those DCOM fans out there, he's in a lot of DCOM movies. I think his most famous one or show from Disney Channel was So Weird. But do you know what Eric Von Deaton is probably most famous for?
No, what?
He voices a Pixar character.
Who?
One we just mentioned earlier.
I've already forgotten about what we've said earlier, Eddie, because we already jumped on this movie.
Sid. He is the voice of Sid.
He's the voice of Sid?
In Toy Story.
Ooh, interesting.
He's the voice of Sid.
Maybe that's why you just innately want to hate him so much in this.
He also voiced Aaron Lawson in Recess, so there's another tie-in to Recess for you. But yeah, he was in a lot of different stuff. So he plays the perfect like early 2000s preppy boy that all the girls are in love with. That is, really an awful person.
Really an awful person. Yep. Another character that I like this in is, and she's not in very much of it, but Sandra Oh as the vice principal.
Yes! That's exactly what I was about to say.
The queen is coming. she's a great actress, and she's in a lot of things. And this is such a funny thing that she's barely in a couple of the scenes.
Well, this is before, she's in Grey's Anatomy. So of course, she wasn't a household name. So it's fun to go back and see somebody like her that now has kind of different fame in a bit role like this,
Lily Moscovitz, played by Heather Matarazzo, plays a great jealous friend. I love her cable
and a great just best friend.
A best friend, like that whole dynamic that they have, where the one friend gets what she's always wanted and she doesn't get it, and she's mad and jealous about it. She plays it perfectly. But I love her line when she says, "Do you know how hard it is to have a cable show and keep a secret?" Which more cable news people thought about that same way. I
love her moment where I'm taking your charm off my charm bracelet and it's going in the dirt.
It's going in the dirt.
There is so many great lines in this. But I have to say, I also love the PA announcements at the school. Two favorites just to shout out here, because nowadays this is really funny, but the PA announcer says, "Remember, virtual homework may not be submitted for actual credit." Well, okay, times have changed just a little bit. But probably my favorite one is, "Will the Feng Shui Club please stop rearranging the tables on the lawn?" So funny. Oh, I love it.
That's awesome. The another petty fight that they had together, which was great, when she's like, "You look ridiculous. You should sue." Just because and then she comes back and Heather comes back, "Just because your hair sucks doesn't mean mine does." And then that leads to the whole lock-in charm. And then they somehow make it back together. I'm like, this is just a great fight. This is just a great, somewhat realistic fight between high school girls that kind of comes back together, and then they're hugging at the end. Like it feels so reminiscent of that age, that time, that place.
Well,
it's one of the reasons that it makes it so believable. Just believable enough.
And why every millennial woman looks back with great fondness of this movie. I mean, I am the movie nerd, right? Like, I'm the one, as Sarah and I sit down and watch a movie together, I'm usually the one like quoting along. This was a surreal experience because for the first time, she's the one quoting along. Like, this was one of her favorite movies ever. And she's quoting it. I'm like, whoa, hold on. That's usually my job in all of this. And this movie has so many great quotes and lines through it all. We were talking about Joe earlier. I think he has two of my favorite lines. I like when he goes, "The flags mean I can park anywhere I want. We keep the flags." Or, "I have never worn pantyhose, but it sounds very dangerous."
That's good. The one person we haven't talked about yet, I don't think it's going to be too heretical, our takes on it, but Michael, the musician. He doesn't really. It's a giant for me as well. He's in this swanky band, but I guess is like a real band, I've heard. But he's like playing one. He can't. How hard is it to play the piano while there's Skittles on the M&Ms all over the keyboard? But he was.
It's so weird though. Like, what? Why are there M&Ms on the keyboard?
That was a creative choice, and why? Why would you, I don't know, just to be different or whatever.
Well, and then like she gets him to come to the ball by like sending him a pizza with sorry spelled out in M&Ms. But it's delivered like right as she's in the midst of like running away, not wanting to be a part of it. Like, I don't know. Yes, I would say his character, all of that. and I know this is probably when a whole bunch of people will start yelling at us, but I don't connect with that at all. I don't get that at all.
He kind of was mean to some degree in some of the way that he treated Mia throughout this. Like, he was kind, but then he, like, the moment it was like, oh, Josh is now in the scene, he's like, oh, I'm done. And like, he's mean, but he doesn't really, she apologizes, but he doesn't. I just was left very unsatisfied with his character of being like, oh no, he's the one that she gets through. And I think I think Disney realized it too, because I don't think he does not make it to the sequel. There's a reason that they bring Chris Pine into the sequel.
Right. It's so funny. I can't, we'll have to when we get to it, but they brush him off so fast in the opening seconds of the sequel. Like, never mind.
Is he actually in? He's actually in it for a second, or they just like mentioned him?
No. It's just like,
what happened to Josh?
You know, the second movie opens with her like writing in her diary, and is so exposition heavy. Like, okay, let's just get everybody caught up, you know. And they just like, oh, and Michael, we're just friends now, and then it moves on. Something very, very short like that. But I would say that is one of the weaker parts of the movie. I'm not a big fan of his character, but he makes sense. He's very much an opposite to Josh. You've got the two kind of opposing types of guys, I would say. So it kind of balances it out there a little bit. I don't know. But I
guess his redeeming quality is that he liked her when she wasn't famous, and he fixes cars. That's his like claim. Like, that's why he's such a good guy for them to get together in the end.
He fixes cars and he's in a band.
Mysterious. He's a mysterious piano player.
That's what it is. It's the mystery of it all.
And that's what my wife said, that the reason I caught her eye on eHarmony was because I had a mysterious photo. Like, half like shaded in black and white and stuff like that. It worked at least twice in this world for me and for Josh. But Josh, it was temporary. But
so enough about individual characters. For me, I've got to say, probably my favorite thing about this movie is that there are just some really well constructed, just beautiful moments, like sequences of a movie, right?
Okay.
I love Julie Andrews and Anne Hathaway, grandma and granddaughter, going out and doing the carnival games. She's eating the corn dog for the first time. They're getting the pictures. Like, it is both like cute and funny, but also just like so endearing and sentimental all at the same time. Like, tug at your heartstrings. I love that sequence. And then if you didn't, jump in.
My coworker Maddie said that she specifically asked her parents to go to that carnival area that has the carnival game with the hand where you got to like do the
arm wrestle.
Arm wrestle. Thank you, Eddie. You knew I was struggling to find the right word for that. She said she specifically she tried to say that it wasn't the reason that they went to San Francisco, but when they went, she's like, I need to go see this carnival game because it was in Princess Diaries. So
good on you. Yes. I love the moment when she grabs and does the arm wrestling, because it is such an amazing juxtaposition of like one of the most elegant women to ever grace this planet, and that she gets out like this handkerchief to like clean it off first, and then she loses, and then you see that like fire in her eyes of like, no, I've got to win this, and does it again and wins and is so excited. Yes, I get excited remembering it. I get excited watching it. I think it's just an amazing sequence. And if it wasn't already amazing enough, I love at the very end of it when they run into the trolley and she has that whole sequence of like knighting, quote unquote, these guys, the police officer it's just so funny.
And then they show up at the ceremony.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Gary Marshall, for just giving us that nod. Like, you didn't have to explain it. You didn't have to have this weird, ceremony moment. No, you just gave the nod, and it just made it even better.
The sequence that I remember first off every time I think of this film is her desire to have her foot pop. That's the piece of it that always, and then the fact that she's in the shed and it gets caught and it's it's not working, and then it pops in the movie. That's one of the iconic moments from this film that I remember.
And then when she's whining to her mom about it, and my foot didn't even pop.
And my foot didn't pop.
The sequence that I love so much that I think shows Anne Hathaway's comedic chops. I mean, just she is a great comedic actress, is the banquet, the state dinner or whatever, where she's catching things on fire and breaking the glasses and one thing after another that I think any one of us, if we were thrown into that situation, would have done, one or all of those. And just her timing and it's her reactions. It's just not even what she's saying. It's just how she's reacting in each of those moments. She's just such a fantastic actress that I think you see played out. There's some obvious comparisons with this movie and The Devil Wears Prada, right?
Oh, yeah.
Anne Hathaway, transformation, comedy, drama. This has, very similar. You in both of these, you just see how great of an actress she is. Any other sequences? Those were kind of the two that that popped out to me.
I mean, the makeover. We've already talked about the makeover.
Yeah,
and just a lot of montage stuff in there. We gotta do a shout out for anytime we have a good montage. I mean, there's lots of quotes from this. I kept on writing quote after quote after quote. This is a dance. This dance is between a waltz and a tango. It's a wango. And then, Grandma, I spun without hurting anyone.
I love his when she tries to call it a wango, and he's like, no, it's not. Oh, well, have we gushed enough here?
I think we have. I think we're at the point, the hardest part of most weeks, except when they suck really bad. And this is not that movie, but we're going to give it our fruit snack rating out of 5 fruit snacks. Eddie, what are you going to rate this film?
I'm going to give this 5 gummy worms.
Ooh.
It's not too hard of a decision here.
The extra level of gummy worms.
My side. I think this is, honestly, my only critique is the whole character Michael, and I don't even think that's as strong of a critique. I think through and through, this movie is a perfect early 2000s film, right? It just encapsulates that period. It's a fantastic story. The acting is just so good. Yeah, and if we go back to just our basic metric of rewatchability, you could have this movie on repeat.
Rewatchable, great characters. Is there a villain in this? I guess Lana and Josh kind of are.
You have Lana and Josh, and then you have the Baron and Baroness,
but they're not.
Who might become.
They're not it's more of her desire to not be the next princess is what is kind of the quote unquote villain in this. I would say that's the only piece of it that I wish was stronger, was a great opposing force, and I guess it's just her desire to not want to be the princess.
Yes, but if you remember back to Mrs. Rust's 11th grade English class, go back with me. As Rose is stuffing the Kleenexes in her sleeve, about to explain something to us and waving her hands around so much. She would always say that the antagonist of a story needs to be one of three things: an opposing person, an opposing outside force,
like all of the movies you love that are
end of the world disaster movies, or the third and final, an internal conflict within the protagonist. And I would submit to you that would be the greater villain of this, and why it is a true, fantastic, wonderful transformation story. Like, it's not just all the physical stuff. And this is where Anne Hathaway and Julie Andrews, because Julie Andrews kind of has this transformation within her of not just being a queen, but discovering being a grandmother. I would say that these two actresses perform that impeccably and give us a wonderful antagonist in that internal struggle.
You've convinced me, Eddie. I'm here for your TED Talk. I'm here for it. And I'm here for the 5 gummy worms. Let's just go for it. Let's give it the full extra five, the extra gummy worm status, not just 5 fruit snacks. That was great. I'm moved, Eddie. But with that, yep.
You can't see right now, folks, but he is visibly tearing.
I am tearing up. I am about to cry. So we better land this plane, because with that, your life has been forever changed by another episode of Honey, We Made a Disney Podcast.
Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to all of your other favorite podcasts. And while you're there, please give us a review and make it a 5-star one. And share this episode with your best friend.
You can also check us out at honeywemade.com, where you can see our full movie list as we continue to go through all the Disney movies from 1988 to 2005, aka our childhood, including next week's, when we might touch for a couple minutes on Max Keeble's big move, as well as hopefully all the D23 revelations that we get this week.
Thank you for listening, and as always, remember, get off the grass.